Hey folks, this is Samuel Huber from SamuelHuber.net, Samuel Huber on Facebook, Samuel Huber on YouTube, Huber Family Adventures on Instagram. I am here to talk to you guys about another rendition of Adulting While on the Spectrum. Last time I talked to you guys on this show, I was talking to you guys about college. And I decided to make this into a TV series of short, breaking up what I was talking about in the first video. First thing I would like to talk to you guys about is letters of accommodation. What are letters of accommodation? They are letters that go to your professor letting them know what your disability is and what accommodations you need to thrive in the classroom. From what I remember from my professors couldn't disclose this information, to the campus. So it was a very discreet way to get the help I need as a young adult on the spectrum and a young college student. What is great about these letters is it creates a clear-cut way for your professor to understand you and your needs, and it opens the door to a conversation that you have with your professor through the entire semester or whenever you do have that professor. The key is utilizing the professor's office hours. That is when the professor has an open door where the students can come and talk to him about class or things like letters of accommodation. The key to this and why it is so vital to the success of anyone with a disability or a learning difference of any kind is the fact that it speaks for the student if the student is unable to fully express their needs and why they need them. If you are able to explain why you need your accommodations, it's a really good idea to reach out to your professor and go to his office hour or her office hours and talk about what you need and why you need. So they make sure that they have a full understanding and that they see that you are taking responsibility for your accommodations, that you are not that you really do need them. Why is this so important? It is so important because, for example, I had a professor who didn't really believe I was disabled because I was so articulate. But I was on the verge of failing his class, and I did fail his class. But I learned from that failure because I didn't properly advocate what I needed. It wasn't until like the very last minute that I got the Office of Disabilities of my college involved, and by then it was really hard to uh, change course there. But from that point forward, I made it my effort to talk to my professors of what I needed and why I needed them. I explained to them that I was a visual thinker, that I needed visual examples, that I made sure to collect PowerPoints from them, that I had a note taker. What's a note taker? Someone who can take notes efficiently in class. And what's great about a note taker is that you don't actually ever really meet them, that they drop their notes off at the disabilities office. So it's very discreet if you are worried about any stigma towards your disability, like autism or bipolar or any physical thing. It is all about the work um, and helping you thrive in the college life. So I highly recommend that you go to your disabilities office once you arrive at college. If you already are at college, contacting them and say, I would like to have a letter, um, and then read the letter yourself. If you're not happy with what's in the letter, which is written for you by the disabilities office, then you can talk to the office about things you would like to be added, and they will add it in if it's appropriate. Um, this is the first step into the adult world for many individuals who have learning differences or mental processing differences or whatever you want to call it, because it's the first way of us in a professional way saying, "Hey, I need this in order to do really well at your establishment." Why is this so important? It's because you have the right to thrive. Just because you have a label of autism, schizophrenia, bipolar, or whatever label society has thrown at you does not mean you are less, and you're just different. You are different, not less. And that's the important thing, that you have to realize that no one is normal in college, that everyone is trying to figure out who they are. Everyone has their differences. You are just a very special individual that gets to voice what he or she needs. And I encourage neurotypical viewers to do the same. Go to your professor and tell them what you need in order to go somewhere, even if you don't have a letter. A letter is just if you want that discreetness of gain those accommodations. And letter of accommodations can be so empowering because they can show you as a young adult that you have control over your education. You have control over getting extra test time, notes, um, recordings of the lecture, whatever you may need, whatever the college is able to provide, you have a right to those things because you have a right to learn. Everyone has a right to learn, whether you're autistic or not. And I was able to pass every other class I took in college because I had that letter. And it's a place to start because college is a different place than the schools that you're used to, where you're used to having an aide next to you or a teacher's aide tapping your shoulder, helping you through lessons. For the most part, at college, you are on your own in the classroom. And that can be scary. I'll admit it. I was scared my first couple years. But when I started getting the hang of how college classrooms work and getting used to the size of the classrooms, it became much easier because I had my trusty letter combination. It made me feel like I had some level of control. And that's the hugest thing. You have control over your own educational future. And it all starts with a letter of accommodation. So don't be afraid of sharing this with your professors, this letter. And if they give you trouble, go to your disabilities office. Advocate that this professor is not listening or is trouble having a and they will help advocate for you if you are struggling to get what you need in order to thrive in an individual class. So if you have any more questions about letters of accommodation, please message below and I will certainly be willing to answer them either in message or in another video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are enjoying your Wednesday. I hope you're enjoying your time with your families during this situation with COVID-19, and I hope you are looking forward to any more episodes of Adulting on the Spectrum, because I have many more planned and looking forward to sharing more of my college experiences with you in the near future. Okay, folks, that's all I have for you. Bye.